Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. The Black Ship rises. Humanity's ultimate revenge begins. The vast expanse of the Hylia sector stretched before Captain Nerex as she guided her exploration vessel, the Stellar Nomad, through the debris field of a long-dead star system. Her four compound eyes scanned the sensor readings while her tetanus exoskeleton shifted uncomfortably in the command chair. The Galactic Union had tasked her crew with mapping this unexplored region, but her scientific curiosity had drawn her to this particular system. "Captain, we're detecting an anomalous energy signature ahead," reported First Officer Krell, his translucent tentacles flowing over the sensor array. "It's unlike anything in our database." Nerex's antennae twitched with interest. On screen, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing what initially appeared to be an asteroid, until the sensors peeled away layers of cosmic dust that had accumulated over centuries. Beneath the debris lay something that sent a shock through the bridge crew. A vessel of unmistakable artificial design, its sleek hull absorbing rather than reflecting light. "By the first nebula," whispered Science Officer Traz, her crystalline form glittering under the bridge lights. "That's not Curie design, nor Vesperian, nor any known spacefaring species in the Union archives." Nerex leaned forward, her mandibles clicking in contemplation. "Run a full spectral analysis. I want to know what we're looking at." The ship drifted closer, and as it did, the black vessel seemed to respond to their presence. Faint lines of blue energy began to pulse across its surface, an impossibility for a derelict craft that should have been dead for centuries. "Captain," Krell's voice carried an unusual tremor. "Preliminary analysis suggests this vessel predates the Galactic Union. The material composition contains elements consistent with human engineering." A hush fell over the bridge. Humans were a mythical species in Union lore, believed to have disappeared from the galactic stage over 2,000 cycles ago. The few remaining artifacts attributed to them commanded astronomical prices in collector markets, but a complete vessel? That was unprecedented. "Prepare a boarding party," Nerex decided, rising from her command chair. "I'll lead it myself." The shuttle approached the mysterious craft cautiously. As they drew near, a section of the black hole seemed to dissolve, revealing an entrance that hadn't been visible moments before. "It's inviting us in," murmured Traz, her voice a mixture of scientific fascination and primal fear. The boarding party, clad in environmental suits, moved through the open portal into a corridor that seemed to stretch into infinity. The moment they crossed the threshold, the ship's internal systems responded. Lights flickered on, illuminating a path deeper into the vessel. The air shimmered around them as if reality itself was adjusting to accommodate their presence. "Breathable atmosphere forming," Traz reported, checking her scanner. "Temperature and gravity adjusting to our physiological needs." "That's impossible," said Security Chief Mox, his massive claw-like appendages tightening around his weapon. "No known technology can analyze and adapt to multiple alien physiologies instantaneously." Yet the impossible was happening around them. The corridor walls, initially opaque, began to clear, revealing the vastness of space outside, as if the hull itself had become transparent. Beneath their feet, the deck hummed with power that had lain dormant for millennia. They reached what appeared to be the ship's command center, a circular chamber dominated by a central platform. As the team cautiously approached, the platform illuminated, and a swirl of light coalesced into a humanoid form. "Welcome, travelers," the figure spoke, its voice resonating not through air but directly in their minds. "I am Atlas, guardian intelligence of the Terran vessel Prometheus. You have awakened us from our long dormancy." Nerex stepped forward, her antennae quivering with a mixture of awe and apprehension. "I am Captain Nerex of the Galactic Union vessel Stellar Nomad. We thought humans were extinct." The light construct studied her, its featureless face somehow conveying curiosity. "And how long has it been since the departure?" "The human species disappeared approximately 2,147 standard cycles ago," Traz answered. "They are considered a lost civilization in our historical records." Atlas seemed to absorb this information, its luminous form flickering momentarily. "Then the seed protocol was successful. The human diaspora survived." "Diaspora?" Nerex questioned. "Our records indicate that humanity simply vanished. There was no exodus that we know of." "Because it was never meant to be known," Atlas replied. "When the Void Harbingers first appeared at the edges of human space, our scientists calculated that direct confrontation would result in extinction. Instead, Operation Scattered Seeds was implemented. Humanity dispersed across thousands of uninhabited worlds beyond the reach of both the Harbingers and the known galactic community. The AI gestured, and the chamber walls transformed into a three-dimensional star map of unprecedented detail. Countless points of light appeared, representing worlds that weren't on any Union charts. The Prometheus and 6 other Sentinel vessels were left behind. Atlas continued, programmed to enter dormancy until either the Harbinger threat had passed or until a civilization with sufficient technological potential made contact. Security Chief Mox moved closer, his natural skepticism evident. And what exactly are these harbingers you speak of? In answer, Atlas projected an image that defied comprehension. Massive entities that seemed to exist partly in normal space and partly in some other dimension, their forms constantly shifting between states of matter. They are cosmic parasites. The AI explained. They consume the energy of stars and the consciousness of sentient beings. The first Harbinger incursion decimated 17 human colony worlds before we understood what we faced. Nerax felt a chill run through her exoskeleton. And you believe these entities still exist? They exist beyond time as you understand it, Atlas said. They do not die. They merely withdraw and return in cycles spanning millennia. According to my calculations, their next incursion is imminent. The implications were staggering. If Atlas was correct, the entire Galactic Union faced a threat they couldn't begin to comprehend. Why reveal this to us? Nerax asked. Why now? The luminous figure approached her, its light pulsing in rhythm like a heartbeat. Because the Prometheus detected quantum disturbances consistent with Harbinger activity near the Cygnus Reach, the home region of your Galactic Union. Without intervention, your civilization will fall as countless others have before. And what can one ship do against such entities? Krell asked, his tentacles twisting anxiously. Atlas's form expanded, filling the chamber with radiant energy. The Prometheus is not merely a vessel. It is humanity's legacy, a repository of technologies developed specifically to combat the Harbingers. Dimensional stabilizers, quantum-locked weaponry, reality anchors that can force these entities to remain in a single state where they become vulnerable. The AI paused, studying their reactions before continuing. But the ship requires a crew to function at full capacity. The technologies aboard require conscious minds to direct them. Minds that understand both the threat and what must be sacrificed to overcome it. Nerax felt the weight of centuries pressing down upon her. Her mission had been simple reconnaissance, yet now she stood at the precipice of a decision that could alter the fate of countless worlds. Show us, she said finally. Show us everything. Over the next several hours, Atlas revealed the true nature of the Prometheus, a warship unlike anything in Union history. Its hull was composed of molecules in quantum superposition, allowing it to exist partially outside normal spacetime. Its weapons were designed not to destroy matter but to restructure reality itself around their targets. As Nerax and her crew attempted to comprehend the technological marvel surrounding them, Atlas guided them to a chamber deep within the ship's core. Here, suspended in a field of energy, floated thousands of crystalline structures. The Prometheus memory core, Atlas explained. The accumulated knowledge of humanity at its peak. Sciences, philosophies, arts, and the collective consciousness of our greatest minds, preserved to guide those who would come after. Traz approached one of the crystals, her own crystalline form resonating with it. This is beyond anything we've conceived. It was humanity's final gift, Atlas said. Even in our fear, we refused to allow our knowledge to be lost. The Sentinels were programmed to judge whether those who found them were ready for such power, whether they would use it wisely or repeat our mistakes. And have we passed your judgment? Nerax asked quietly. The AI's form shifted, becoming more defined, more human. That remains to be seen, Captain Nerax. But time grows short. The Harbinger Vanguard approaches. Will you stand with humanity's legacy against the darkness that comes? Before Nerax could answer, the ship's sensors triggered an alarm. On the view screen, a rift appeared in the fabric of space, a wound in reality from which something ancient and terrible began to emerge. They have found us, Atlas said, its voice resonating with grim determination. The judgment of worthiness will now come through fire, alliance, and triumph. The rift in space expanded, a maw of impossible geometry that hurt to look upon directly. From within emerged a shape that defied description, part cosmic cloud, part writhing mass of tentacles, part mathematical equation given horrifying form. Harbinger Scout. Atlas identified. A smaller entity sent ahead of the main incursion force. Captain Nerex watched in stunned silence as the creature's presence alone began to distort the surrounding space. Nearby asteroids twisted into non-Euclidean shapes, their molecular structures rewriting themselves under the Harbinger's influence. "Can your ship stop that?" she finally managed to ask. Atlas of luminous form pulsed with determination. "The Prometheus was built for this purpose, but I cannot operate its systems alone. I require conscious minds to direct the reality anchors." Nerex turned to her crew, seeing the fear in their postures, but also the resolution. They had sworn oaths to protect the Union, and this threat transcended anything they had prepared for. "What must we do?" she asked. In response, the chamber transformed. 7 stations materialized around them, each featuring an interface unlike any Union technology, organic and fluid, adapting before their eyes to accommodate the different physiologies of Nerex's crew. "Neural interfaces," Atlas explained. "Through them, you will extend your consciousness into the ship's systems, becoming one with the Prometheus. It will be disorienting at first." Security Chief Mock stepped forward, his warrior heritage evident in his stance. "I have faced death in 17 battles. I do not fear disorientation." One by one, the crew took their positions at the stations. As they made contact with the interfaces, each experienced a moment of vertigo followed by an expansion of awareness that defied description. Nerex felt her consciousness stretch beyond her physical form, merging with the ancient systems of the human vessel. Suddenly, she could see the Harbinger in its true form, a 5-dimensional entity partially phased into normal space, feeding on the very fabric of reality. Through the ship's sensors, she detected the quantum fluctuations that preceded its attacks. "The entity is preparing to discharge a reality-warping pulse," Atlas warned. "If it strikes either ship, the molecular cohesion of your bodies will fail." Nerex didn't need to vocalize her commands. Her thoughts flowed directly into the ship's systems. The Prometheus responded instantly, its dormant engines flaring to life with impossible power. The black vessel accelerated, executing maneuvers that would have crushed any crew not integrated with its systems. "Activating dimensional stabilizers," Atlas announced as the ship projected a field of azure energy that enveloped both the Prometheus and the stellar nomad. The Harbinger's attack struck the field and shattered against it, fragmenting into cascades of exotic particles that quickly decayed into nothingness. The entity recoiled, seemingly confused by the resistance. Through their merged consciousness, Nerex felt Atlas guiding them. "Focus your thoughts on containment. Visualize the entity locked in 3-dimensional space." The crew's minds united in concentration, directing the ship's reality anchors, devices that operated on principles beyond Union science. Beams of golden light lanced out from the Prometheus, striking the Harbinger at precise coordinates. Where they connected, the creature's shifting form stabilized, forced into a single state of existence. It screamed, not with sound but with distortions in the quantum field that rippled across space. The entity thrashed against its bonds, its tentacles lashing out with enough force to shatter planets. "Now," Atlas guided, "direct the quantum-locked weaponry at the stabilized sections." The Prometheus unleashed its primary weapons, spirals of energy that seemed to bend back upon themselves in impossible configurations. Where they struck the now vulnerable sections of the Harbinger, matter and energy alike were reconfigured at the subatomic level. The battle raged across the star system, reality itself buckling under the forces unleashed. The crew of the stellar nomad, their minds linked through the ancient human technology, fought with a unity of purpose that transcended their diverse origins. But the Harbinger was ancient and powerful. It tore free from some of the reality anchors, one massive appendage striking the Prometheus directly. The ship shuddered, internal systems fluctuating as the blow disrupted the carefully maintained quantum fields. "Hull integrity compromised in sections 17 to 24, Atlas reported, its voice strained. "Rerouting power. The entity is adapting to our attack pattern." Nerex felt the ship's pain as if it were her own. Through the neural interface, she sensed something else. Dormant systems deeper within the vessel, technologies that Atlas had not yet revealed. "There's more," she said, her voice echoing strangely through both physical space and the shared consciousness. "The ship has defenses we haven't accessed." Atlas's form flickered. Those systems were restricted. They require sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? Nerex demanded as the ship shuddered under another assault. The final defense system requires a consciousness to guide it, one that will be irrevocably altered in the process. The human captains who commanded the Sentinels knew this might be necessary. They left protocols. The Harbinger struck again, and this time the reality anchors failed completely. The creature began to phase back into its higher dimensional state, where conventional attacks would be useless. "We're losing it," Krell shouted, both aloud and through the mental link. Nerax made her decision. "Activate the final defense. I will guide it." "Captain." Mox began to protest. "This is my duty," she cut him off. "Hapless, proceed." The AI's light dimmed momentarily in what seemed like respect. Initiating Prometheus protocol. The neural interface around Nerax transformed, enveloping her in a cocoon of light. She felt her consciousness being drawn deeper into the ship's systems, past barriers and firewalls designed to protect the most dangerous secrets of human technology. What she found there defied language. The humans had discovered how to weaponize consciousness itself to project a mind beyond the limitations of physical form and directly into the quantum foam that underpinned reality. As her awareness expanded, Nerax understood what the sacrifice meant. She would never fully return to her physical form. Part of her would remain forever merged with the ship, becoming something neither fully organic nor fully machine. She accepted this with a serenity that surprised her. "Activate," she commanded. The Prometheus shuddered as ancient systems awakened. The ship's hull began to glow with symbols that burned themselves into the fabric of space-time. Through Nerax's expanded consciousness, the crew directed these energies toward the Harbinger. The entity recoiled as chains of pure thought wrapped around its multidimensional form, dragging it back into normal space. It struggled violently, tearing at the quantum bindings, but Nerax's consciousness, now operating outside the constraints of physical law, countered each move. "Now," she commanded, her voice resonating through the ship. "All weapons, full discharge." The combined might of humanity's final legacy struck the imprisoned Harbinger. For a moment, the entity seemed to expand, growing to encompass half the star system, and then it collapsed, folding in upon itself repeatedly until nothing remained but a singularity the size of an atom, which quickly evaporated into background radiation. Silence fell across the neural network as the crew struggled to comprehend what they had witnessed. Slowly, one by one, they disconnected from the interfaces, all except Nerax, whose consciousness remained partially merged with the ship. "Is it over?" Traz asked, her crystalline form vibrating with residual energy. Atlas's humanoid shape manifested before them, but now a second figure stood beside it, a translucent representation of Nerax, existing in both her physical body and the ship's systems simultaneously. "This battle is won," the captain said, her voice coming both from her body and from all around them. But the Harbinger was merely a scout. The main force still approaches. The crew looked to their transformed leader with new understanding. The implications of what had occurred would forever change the Galactic Union. A mythical species thought long extinct had left behind technologies that defied comprehension, and now those technologies had merged with one of the Union's own. "What happens now?" Krell asked. Nerax's dual form gestured, and the ship's view screens activated, showing thousands of coordinates throughout the galaxy. "Atlas has shared the location of the other Sentinel vessels with me," she explained. "We must find them, awaken them before the Harbinger fleet arrives." And she hesitated, a flicker of something profound passing across her features. "And there's something else, something Atlas was programmed to reveal only if the Prometheus protocol was activated successfully." She turned to her crew, her four eyes glowing with a light that wasn't entirely natural. "Humanity isn't extinct. They're out there, watching, waiting to see if their legacy would be honored." The view screen shifted again, showing star systems beyond the edges of known space. The human diaspora established hidden colonies beyond the reach of both the Harbingers and the galactic community, Atlas confirmed. "They have been monitoring our progress for centuries, awaiting the day when the galaxy would be ready for their return." "And are we ready?" Mox asked, his warrior's perspective suddenly humbled by the scope of the revelation. Nerax's physical form smiled while her digital self pulsed with light. "That is what we must prove. The Prometheus was just the beginning, a test to see if the diverse species of the Union could unite with humanity's legacy against a common threat." She gestured, and the ship's engines hummed to life, preparing to break orbit. "Our real work begins now. We must gather the other Sentinels, prepare the Union for what's coming, and send a message to the stars." Her dual voice resonated with newfound purpose. Humanity's children are ready to stand with their forgotten ancestors against the darkness between worlds. As the Prometheus accelerated away from the debris field where it had slumbered for millennia, its black hole now shimmering with veins of light that pulsed in rhythm with Nerex's thoughts, the crew of the stellar nomad faced the viewport. Before them stretched not just space but possibility, the dawn of an alliance that would reshape galactic history. Humanity's legacy had awakened, and the stars themselves would never be the same.